everyone. Well, welcome to week 2 in our church-wide series walking through the Sermon on the Mount. I'm so excited to just be walking through today with you the Beatitudes. Some of you may be wondering, Beatitudes? I'm not sure what that is, or I've never heard of the Beatitudes before. Or some of you may be like, oh, I'm super familiar with those. I know what those are. They're in Matthew somewhere. Well, either way, I am excited to just kind of walk through this part of the Sermon on the Mount with you today. So the Beatitudes, I actually looked up what that word means, and it means a state of supreme blessedness or utmost bliss. And that relates so well because the Beatitudes are Jesus laying out the identity of his kingdom. So Jesus was not a king in the world sense that they were expecting. He actually came here to earth and just flipped things upside down in the church world for how they thought things were supposed to be. And he does that especially here in Matthew 5 as we see him walk through each of these Beatitudes, identifying his kingdom and what his kingdom is going to be like and who will be there. So I actually want to start off reading the Beatitudes from Matthew 5 here. We're going to start in verse 3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecute the prophets who were before you. So reflect on that as we walk through each of these Beatitudes, naming and identifying Jesus' kingdom. The first 3 we see here that God's kingdom is coming to the most unlikely. The first is, blessed are the poor in spirit. These are the people who are powerless. They're on the outskirts of society. The people that are looked at with disregard, not cared about. Jesus is telling them that they will no longer be last, but now they're going to be first. Then he goes on, blessed are those who grieve, those who have faced extreme hardship, hurt, pain, suffering. Those people who have that deep hurting inside them. Comfort is coming. He lets them know that this peace is coming. They are going to be comforted. And then thirdly, he goes on to say, blessed are the meek, the unimportant, the overlooked. These people who others would walk by and not even regard as a human life. Jesus tells them that he sees them and that they are going to be the ones that inherit the land. They are going to be placed into a position of power. And so those first 3, we see that Jesus' kingdom is coming to the most unlikely group of people, a group of people that would not be expected to be seated in a kingdom at all. But yet, those are the people that will be rewarded in his kingdom. Secondly, he goes on and continues identifying this kingdom with the character of those people. The people who are going to be most at home are going to feel the best in his kingdom. And so he goes on to say, blessed are the righteous, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness' sake. They are going to be in this kingdom. They are going to have those right relationships, those people with that desire for a right relationship. Their discontent with the brokenness of their current relationships will be filled, and they will find that contentment. That hunger, that thirst will be filled in his kingdom. Then he goes on to say, blessed are those who show mercy. They're going to be shown mercy. And so while they share that mercy with those around them, when they enter into his kingdom, they also will be shown mercy. Continuing on in defining that character is blessed are the pure in heart, those people who are living from a really pure motive. Jesus then tells that their desires, they align with God's desires, and they will see God in his kingdom. And then the last three of these Beatitudes define the difficult path ahead. So while Jesus' kingdom is coming to the most unlikely, it's not going to be an easy road to get there. And so he says, blessed are the peacemakers. These are the people that enter into conflict and they work creatively to open up a generous and a just pathway, to allow for a conflict resolution, to allow for peace. It's telling us that in those times of conflict in our lives, those struggles, Jesus is calling us to be that creative solution for peace, to be a peacemaker. Then he goes on to say, blessed are those who have been persecuted. If you've lived any number of days here on the earth, I'm sure you've experienced some persecution. People can be mean, people can be cruel. And here, Jesus is saying, blessed are those who are persecuted on the account of doing what is right. So when you're persecuted for pursuing a just life, for pursuing righteousness for Jesus' sake, that you are seen by Jesus. He lets them know that the kingdom of the skies is theirs. So when we're persecuted, Jesus is letting us know that while we're persecuted for his name's sake, that we have a place in his kingdom, that he sees us. He sees us in those hard, difficult moments when we feel alone. We feel that pain. Jesus is letting us know that he is with us. And then finally, he goes on to say, blessed are those people insult and persecute and spread evil lies about. So he's continuing this with those who are hurting because false things have been said about you. Lies have been spread about you. People have talked and hurt you while you have done your best to be true to who you are in Jesus, to be true to his word. And that unkind, hurt, pain, loneliness that you felt, Jesus is letting you know that he sees. He sees that, and he's with you. Jesus sees you and he knows you, and he's here to flip culture upside down. That those who seem to have the most power and the most influence here on earth, that those are not the people who will receive the utmost reward in heaven. It's the ones who are on the outskirts of society, who feel the most hurt, the most pain, the ones who are running after him, after his righteousness, with such a hunger and a thirst that they don't feel like they can ever be filled, that they will be filled in his kingdom. Those that society has pushed aside, Jesus welcomes in. He is welcoming in with open arms. So I want to read through that scripture one more time and just listen to how Jesus flips the kingdom that the world knows, that we know as a world, upside down, and invites those of us who feel that we're on the outskirts to be a part of his kingdom. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So blessed are the poor, those on the outskirts. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. That comfort, that peace is coming. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are the unimportant. Jesus sees you. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Those of you who are just seeking that righteous in his sake, your hunger, your thirst will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Those of you who are merciful to those around you, extend that grace. That same grace and mercy will be extended to you. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. To have pure motive in what you're doing. Our desires often get clouded here on earth, but having that pure heart to seek after him. Blessed are the peacemakers, those who go around creating creative solutions for peace. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Those who are hurt for Jesus' sake. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way, they persecute the prophets who were before you. Your reward is in heaven. It's not here on this earth. So when lies, false teaching, things are said about you, hurtful things, Jesus lets you know that he sees you. The prophets of the Old Testament face the same tribulations. But your reward is laid in heaven. You are a part of his kingdom. Right now, we're going to enter into a time of discussion questions. The questions will come up on the screen. I invite you as a group to talk through these and think through how God is speaking to you right now.